What's up everyone, I am Seth from Myriad Misadventures, and today I'm going to a Wing Chun class. So I am still pretty bad at Wing Chun, I guess. Before we get going, I'm going to apologize for the terminology. I don't know any of the English names for Wing Chun moves. I think they're usually just called by their Cantonese names, but my Cantonese is terrible. So I don't know a lot of them. Some of them I know the Cantonese names, some of them I know the Mandarin names, some of them I think I know the name, but I actually probably don't. So I might mess up the terminology. I apologize in advance. Class started with some warm-ups and some conditioning. Like I mentioned in the JKD video, conditioning is great. I feel like it's important, and martial artists often don't do enough of it. From there we did some Xiao Nim Tao, I think is the Cantonese. Xiao or Xiao Nien To is the Mandarin. It's the first open hand Wing Chun form. I learned the first 3 moves. Nothing like Tung Sudo. Pretty much everything was different, so I'm not going to talk about how it was different because it's just completely opposite from what I'm used to. It did have one move different from some of the Wing Chun I've done in the past, though. One of the Xiao Nim Taos that I've done, and a lot of the ones I've seen, they sort of come like up, down, up at the beginning. This one started the same, but after the down part, it sort of wrapped around and came back up. I didn't do all of the first form though. I only learned the first couple moves so that I could practice them and get better at them instead of having the whole form thrown at me at once. Kinda nice because then I'm not gonna screw anything up, I guess. The form's not super long or super hard to learn, I don't think, but it's probably difficult to get the techniques. So by only learning the form in smaller pieces, I have more time to try to practice that technique on those moves. After that first form, we did a drill that was Chi Sao-ish, sort of like Chi Sao, but a little different. At least I think it was like Chi Sao. I've never seen it before, but it seemed to have a similar vibe where you're close to your opponent and you're sort of trying to feel and react to them. So if you've seen Chi Sao, it's usually sort of like this, where you're attacking and blocking, and then you're going to move your hands to try to attack your opponent, and they have to feel you. If they're properly relaxed, they'll feel you and they'll be able to react to your movements. This one I felt was similar, except instead of your hands being out with the other person, you were doing sort of a punch and then a block. So you would punch and they would block, and then they punched and you blocked. And you were doing that punch-block combo instead of that sort of attack, bong show, attack, bong show. And then there were a couple things that you could do. Sometimes someone would throw like a hook punch and you had to react to it, or someone would step and you had to move with them, or they would put a hand there and you had to punch it. So sort of like Chi Sao, I think there was a big reaction component to it where you needed to be sort of feeling your opponent so you could react to what they were doing. It came off as very similar to Chi Sao. I don't know if it's like a lead up to Chi Sao or if it's this lineage of Wing Chun's version of Chi Sao instead. It's a little quicker, maybe? I'm really not sure. It's going to take a little longer to figure out where it slots into the Wing Chun curriculum, I guess. So in that first class, we did a couple of defenses focused on this block, Pak Sao, I think it is, Pai Shou, which is just sort of pushing and catching your opponent's attack. We did 3 defenses all based on that defense. The first one was the opponent had 2 punches and you blocked the first one, and then, which was with their right hand, and then they punched again with their left hand, and you kept that same hand there and blocked that second one and punched. So you did block, block, punch. The second one, you used both hands to block. It was the same attack, right hand punch, left hand punch, and you did block 1, block 2, and on the second block, you came around, choked the other person, and then came behind their back where you could bring them down. The third one was from a single punch, and you did the same block, and then you came under and took the head, and then sort of threw them down. If they were too tall, you could attack the body first, so that they would lean over and then take the head. I liked that they were all based on one block, just that Pak Sao, no Lan Shou or Tong Shou or Bong Shou. My first class in a very long time, so it was good to not be overwhelmed by too many different blocks, just one. I did have a little trouble with steps though. The first one and the third one, the Pak Da and the Pak and then attack the head, just had one single step, so it wasn't too bad. But the second one, I got a little confused on that step, which leg I was supposed to be stepping with as I turned around. So I got a little confused there because the step was a little more advanced, I guess. Just like with Tai Chi, the concepts of Wing Chun, I feel like are a lot more difficult to understand than JKD. So I have a lot more trouble understanding what's happening in class. Just like with Tai Chi, I think that my Chinese is going to be a limiting factor. I really need to improve it in order to really improve my Wing Chun, I think. Second class was much more of a whirlwind. We did a ton of stuff. Honestly, I think it was a little too much. I definitely couldn't remember it all. We just boom, 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 new things after new things, and I was a little overwhelmed, honestly. The big things I took from it, though, were one set of defenses that we did, sort of how in the first class we did a set of Pak Sao defenses, and the importance of staying loose, of relaxing when you're doing Wing Chun. So the set of moves was from a punch or single-handed push. If the other person is pushing with their right hand, you sort of stepped out and blocked with both hands. This one was sort of like a Tong Shou. And then you brought it out around their arm and grabbed your own forearm so that you could control the arm into like an arm bar. I was pretty bad at it. I couldn't figure out quite if I was supposed to go forward or down a little bit or both at the same time. I had a little bit of trouble controlling my opponent, but I've always been kind of bad at joint manipulations. They were never really my thing, so it's going to take a while before I really pick it up, I think. Then there were two variations on it. One, if the other person was like really strong and they were trying to stand up, in which case you would then take this hand and sort of shoot it out and attack the head, and you could take them down. And the other one, if they tried to bend their arm, and if they tried to bend their arm, you then took this arm that was wrapped around their arm and just sort of brought their arm up behind them so they couldn't do anything, and then you had a free hand to attack. They were good defenses, I liked them all, but the thing I found interesting about them was that they all had a two-handed block to start. Wing Chun, as I understand it, is very big on simultaneous attack and defense. You're not going to dodge and then attack, or block and then attack. You're doing your block and your attack at the same time. Block and attack together. Block and attack together. But this defense had two-hand block to begin with. I figure there are two possibilities for that. One is that the simultaneous attack and defense is not quite as ironclad as the internet would make you think. And the other is that this defense serves a different purpose. You could always, if someone punches like that, step to the outside and tan da. So you could simultaneously attack and defend against that attack. So I wonder if this defense is not used for defending against someone who is a threat to you, but subduing somebody who is less of a threat. So if someone's an actual threat, you just attack. But if someone's less of a threat, you could come in with that block and then try to control them instead of just punching them in the head. I didn't ask though. Again, I was a little overwhelmed in that class. But that's just sort of my guess. The other important thing I picked up in this class is the importance of relaxing. I'm very bad at relaxing. Every martial arts instructor I've had in China and every time I've ever gone to yoga, I've been told I have to relax. I'm very, very bad at relaxing. But it is important for Wing Chun and honestly probably for martial arts in general. The examples given were if you're all tensed up and you get pushed, you're just going to kind of fall. But if you're relaxed and you get pushed, you can sort of move with the push and respond. The other was if you have your hands out and you're really tense and someone pushes them down, your whole body's going to go down if you're tense. But if you're relaxed and someone pushes your hands down, you can just bring them right back up. Or you can respond to the push. But you can only do that if your body is relaxed and your arms are relaxed. So when they push, the only thing that moves is your arms, not your whole body. This is something that I need to work on in Wing Chun and in JKD and probably Tai Chi too. So taking all the classes, hopefully I'll be able to get better at it faster than when I was just going to one JKD class. But that's definitely something I need to practice. I need to actually think about it as I'm doing things. I'm doing something, oh, I'm too tense. Relax a little bit. Baby steps.